What up, everybody? Welcome back to Fandom Frequency, y'all. It's your boy Kenny once again, joined by my co-pilot, my co-host Skippy, aka Anthony Murillo. What's good, buddy?
Doing great, Kenny. Doing great. How about yourself, my man?
Doing good, man. I am feeling good. We just saw a sick-ass movie last night. MCU is back in full effect, y'all. Black Widow just dropped yesterday in theaters. Me and my man Skips here with our buddy Miguel. We watched it. So, we're going to break down all the details, every spoilery little detail we can think of. We're getting right into it. So, this is your warning right now. Get out of here, watch Black Widow, then come right back here immediately. Put it on the car if you're doing the podcast, or throw us on your phone or computer if you're doing the YouTube. If you're doing YouTube, click the like, click subscribe. It definitely helps out the channel and helps us reach more dope nerds like you that want to have a good time and check out some reviews and all that. And make sure you download the podcast, y'all. It really helps us tremendously reach out there to get some potential sponsorships, to get potential guests for interviews in the future, and to just get out there and connect with all the different people that love all the nerdy stuff that we love. So show the love, click the download. It helps us out a million plus, man. So with no further ado, let's get into the review, my man. So starting off with the positives, what did you like about the movie, my man?
I love the fighting scenes a lot more in this movie a lot. I think we both definitely agree on that.
Brutal. Straight up in your face. You feel every hit, every slam into the wall. You feel everything Natasha and Yelena are giving out, man. Especially when they're fighting each other, when they first meet each other in the Budapest safe house.
Yeah, no punches being held back there. It was just straight brutality going on there, my man. It's just it was just brutality fighting. They were going at each other's neck, and they finally got to that point where, like, all right, we're kind of evenly matched, and they do love each other. They finally just came to the point where it got to the truce and everything going on. And I thought it was pretty cool. And my other favorite fight scene in that movie was the bridge. I think the bridge one with
Natasha and Taskmaster?
Yeah, that one. I thought when Taskmaster showed up and he was doing his thing, doing the mimic fight styles and everything like that. I thought it was pretty dope. I was like, okay, this person knows what's up. Like, he's just there to do a mission. He's not bullshitting around. And then that's what I really loved about that fight scene.
Yeah, man, and just getting to see full-on Taskmaster in full effect, copying Natasha's moves, pulling out moves from Captain America's arsenal, pulling out moves from Black Panther, especially in that scene later with Red Guardian. And that was one of my favorite scenes right there, was the fight with Taskmaster and Red Guardian in the third act when they were at, what's his name?
The Red Room, right?
Yeah, the Red Room.
The basement, yeah.
The Red Room base in the sky, which was a pretty cool little development. I liked how it was like a base in the sky and everything.
Right.
And yeah, man. And when it comes to Red Guardian, played by the great David Harbour, my man killed it once again. If you ever see this review, you always kill it in everything you're in, man. Stranger Things, Suicide Squad, you've been killing it for years, brother. And I loved him in this, man. He's like a dumb, drunk, naive, almost nostalgic version of Captain America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he's all lying that he got in fights with him and stuff like that, and he was his greatest enemy. And the guy in the prison's like, bruh, he was still frozen.
At the time frame you were talking about like 80 something. He was still in the iceberg, and that's when he got mad. He broke the guy's wrist. It was just wobbling there. I was like, oh god, that's super.
Like, that's
just too brutal. Oh my god, but no, like Red Guardian, I do love him as a character a lot. I really want to see a lot of him in the upcoming phases as well.
Me too, man. They gotta bring David Harbour back to play that character again, man. He was awesome in every single scene, and I really loved Yelena. Belova, aka the new Black Widow, Natasha's sister. Freaking Florence Pugh, man, she kills it in every single role she ever gets, it seems like, man. From Fighting with My Family, even Midsummer, which I hate. She was great in it. So she killed it here, man. And she had the best Russian accent of any actor in the movie.
To be honest, he really did kill her with that accent.
She sounded legit Russian. Like, if you didn't know, you would think she was Russian.
Yeah, straight up. Like, she definitely, I feel like she definitely stole the spotlight from Natasha. I guess it's just her character overall. Even her her as an actress, she does everything so well. Man. She does everything so much
charisma.
Yeah, that's the thing. Her charisma got it off. She played she had the perfect delivery lines for every little comedic line that she had going on for her. And it played out well. And then I feel I'm very excited for her to show up in the future as, like, you know, the new, I guess, Black Widow, Natasha type of situation.
We're going to break that down at the end of the review towards the end there. That whole, you know, tease for the future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, I cannot wait to see more of Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh. Bring her back as soon as possible. I don't think we have to wait too long. But I loved her in the movie, man. She's just awesome. I really just can't overstated enough, man. And Rachel Weisz was pretty good in the movie. She wasn't bad or anything.
No,
I don't think her Russian accent was good at all.
No,
in and out like a motherfucker, bro. I'm talking double. Her accent was in and out, man.
It was very inconsistent, I would say, too, because like we pretty much caught that up throughout the whole little dining scene when they're at the
man, like mid sentence, her shit be American, Russian, American, Russian. I'm like all right, come on, damn. Can you do a little better with the Russian here?
At least, but like she did good overall as a character. I liked her too.
Yeah,
besides the accent and stuff.
Elena. Elena, I think.
Her name was I'm trying to remember.
Was it Melina?
Melina, yes. She
Melina.
was her. I think. What was her comic book name? I'm trying to remember her comic book name, but it was something.
I think I'm about to do some research and throw it in the video later for sure, because I don't know off the top. But I know it's a character from the comics, just like Red Guardian, like they have come, and just like Yelena, like these are all characters straight from the comics. But the one thing they said behind the scenes was obviously the movie isn't pulled from a direct storyline in the comics. They just pulled all these characters from different storylines and made their own thing.
Gotcha.
But that's MCU at its core right there.
Yeah.
Unless you're doing Civil War, Infinity War, and whatnot. But yeah, man, what else did we dig about the movie, man? The pacing was good for the most part, too. I really don't think it was slowed down too much. I think they took just enough time to build the characters out and introduce some new characters and build out Natasha's, what she was going through and what she's dealing with and the guilt that she feels over the people she killed and leaving everyone behind in the Red Room. You really feel all that. And everything with the Red Room, when you're talking about the human trafficking element of it and people getting kidnapped and shit, they didn't shy away from that too much for this, especially in an MCU Disney movie. I got to give them some props on that. I thought they were going to kind of like tiptoe around that shit. The whole first 5 minutes is fucking all that. You're seeing girls getting taken and shit and getting taught how to use automatic weapons and you see the allusion to them getting their uteruses cut out and shit where they can't give birth. Straight up.
Like, when you mentioned that yesterday, I rethought about that even more, and I thought it was even more crazier. Yeah, because, like, in the first 5 minutes, you do see that little, what they were going through, how they were able to how they were being brainwashed and everything like that, doing, like, little tasks here and there when they're very youth. Then by a certain age, you're just, learning how to do firearms and stuff like that.
Yeah, bro. And you're seeing all the footage of all these different places and people they've killed and all the influence he has all around the world throughout the 80s and the 90s as Natasha was growing up. Or in the 90s, I mean. Because he was with fucking Clinton and all these other people, you know what I'm saying? They, photoshopped him in there. But I was like, damn, like, that whole opening sequence to Black Widow and just that whole Red Room Black Widow element and the brainwashing and all that, very well done. Props to y'all for really putting something like that that's very culturally relevant today in the world in general, but especially in America and even in our area where is really going on a lot more than usual. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So yeah, man. Props to Marvel on that, man. That's
Very
a big positive for this movie, man. And it really bumps it up for me in overall MCU quality for this, man. Like they're really hitting some themes and some elements that they really didn't touch on, other than a few lines of dialogue from Natasha. They really went all in on this, man. And I really dug that. Everything with Natasha was awesome. ScarJo's always awesome in these movies. And I don't think she got outshined too much. I just think David Harbour and Florence Pugh, they just steal scenes in everything they're in. They're just so damn fun to watch, especially David Harbour, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause you've seen him more. And like every scene he's in Stranger Things, he's like the best actor in the scene. So
straight up, like
they're just those actors. ScarJo's more understated. She always has been. You know what I mean?
That's very true. With those two, they're very great actor and actresses overall.
They're more out there with their performance, and they're more lively. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely agree with you there.
And I think that was a good counterbalance to Natasha as a character. If they're going to do a movie based on her, like how she used to bounce off Hawkeye, it kind of gave her this with Yelena, you know what I'm saying? So I really like that. And like we said, the choreography, stellar, really dope.
Killer overall, man.
The action overall, not too much CGI and stuff that was like noticeable or like too much bad effects until like the end when they're like falling through the sky and shit.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Yeah.
But yeah, man, I really dug that, man. The soundtrack to the movie was fun. They had some cool, old school 90s, 80s songs in there, American Pie and shit. Yeah, man. Anything else you wanted to point out in the positives? Anything else that stuck out to you?
The positives as everything overall. It pretty much, I like the character development overall for all the characters and all this other stuff. I believe the action scenes, like we mentioned before, was great. Stellar. I think it was just it's a great movie overall. It's nothing too overwhelming. It was wonderful for the character to actually sign off for her overall. But
definitely.
I really did enjoy the movie a lot. I really did.
Me too, man. Like, I know our boy Miguel wasn't really as hot on it, and he couldn't make it for the review, unfortunately. But I really enjoyed the film overall, man. And just kind of sliding into the negatives here. My only negative with this movie is just the villain himself, Charkov or whatever his name is. I'll throw it in the video here for YouTube. So if you want the real legit name, you got to go check out the video. But yeah, the villain overall, man, I just didn't like him that much. The guy that ran the Red Room program or whatever.
To be honest, I'm on the same page with you too. Like, for me, that's when we were talking about a little bit yesterday. Like, the villain, it just wasn't there for me too much. Like, I do enjoy like the whole how like Scarlet and Yelena got to that point, but just like the villain himself, I can't really fall behind him too much. Like, he only relied on to that little what was it that they couldn't really hurt him. It was like a hormone or something like that, right?
Yeah, he would give off pheromones, and it would trigger something subconsciously in all the Black Widows where they couldn't physically harm him.
Yeah,
unless, like Natasha did later, and Melina told her that if you sever the nerve that gives you the ability to smell stuff like that, it would break that mind control, I guess you could say. Yeah. So that was a pretty cool little development, but it did weaken the stakes because he couldn't really get hurt until like the very end of the movie when you need to get rid of the villain, you know what I mean? So it just felt very formulaic in that way and felt very phase one, you know?
Like the one of the earlier phases, no, I totally agree.
Like that element of it. The rest of the movie didn't feel like a phase one movie to me. Because you wouldn't have got that opening sequence whatsoever. Especially with Natasha, like a 10-year-old girl pointing guns at people and shit, saying, "I will fucking kill you if you touch my sister," and shit.
Yeah, she's very protective. That's, like you see that early on from her when she was little. She's very protective and everything so forth as a character herself. Yeah. We've seen that in the past couple of movies too with her, with the other Avenger cast and stuff like that. But yeah, it was the main villain wasn't too hot for me. I guess the second part for me will be Taskmaster. I know a lot of people are also with this too. For me, I didn't really mind the whole gender swap and everything so forth. Like a lot of people are always talking about. But I just feel like they could have made the story for her a little bit more better in the movie
made her more
itself.
of a full-form character.
Yeah.
You really didn't get to hear her say much of anything.
Not at all. Not until like the very end for maybe like a few lines here and there. And that was
because they were trying to give you that twist of who's Taskmaster and who's under the mask. And and all that stuff. And I guess I should have saw that coming when they were talking about his daughter for no reason out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like she was such a big deal to the plot when at that point she hadn't been really. So I guess I should have saw it coming, but at the same time, I just wish that you would have just knew she was Taskmaster, and the whole time, she was like a living, breathing representation of Natasha's guilt, running after her constantly, like a Terminator, just T-1000. I'm coming for your ass.
Yeah,
and that would have been more interesting. Like someone she thought she killed and got rid of is coming back for revenge, while she's getting revenge on someone else.
Yeah, very true.
You know what I mean? That would have made the plot more interesting. You get to see her interact with Natasha. Like maybe give some mystery to it at first, but like halfway through the movie, tell us who she is. Let us know what the deal is. You know, maybe even give her a flashback of her choosing to take on the Taskmaster identity, right?
I think
her
it would have been
choosing
better.
to get in on it, and like, oh, this bitch almost blew me up because of what you did. Well, fuck all that. I'm gonna take her out. She could have had her own ulterior motives, whatever. It could have been a whole nother interesting plot point. Even if her dad wasn't that interesting, she could have been. You know?
Definitely, for sure. I feel like they could have done a lot more with her, and I feel like with her being controlled, kind of like did kill that whole plot. That was the one thing I didn't really like, is when Natasha figured out that she was being controlled and stuff like that, and when they were fighting in that final scene, she just just did her original stance, broke the thing, the mind control thing, just went into her, I guess, eyes, nose, wherever that she was able to smell it in, and she broke free from that. And I felt like that was kind of
the antidote
to that whole dilemma. And it's just like, and right when that happened, she's just all of a sudden like, she turned good, I guess, off of that short period of time. I feel like they probably could have done a lot better with that character. We probably could have even seen her
same arc, just flesh it out.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. And just overall, like, I really do hope in the future movies, hopefully she does come back. I guess maybe possibly another motive, I guess, because I mean, with Taskmaster overall, he's supposed to be like kind
of a hired gun also.
Yeah, he's like technically a hired gun too, but he teaches like a lot of like the upcoming thugs and stuff like that about like certain Marvel like
their
Marvel
fighting
heroes,
techniques,
like their fighting techniques.
Right?
Yeah. And then him himself, he's like the ultimate badass. Like he'll know what to do at certain fight scenes and stuff like that. It would be cool to see. It would have been cool to see him in like other MCU
or even
movies.
be an ally.
Yeah, that's
switch it up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Maybe they'll probably do something like that with this.
There's a chance.
This movie.
That's the thing with the MCU. As long as they keep this train rolling, they can definitely redeem things. We're about to get the real Mandarin in 2 months in Shang-Chi.
Yeah, and that's going to be another
We're going to
story.
get the real 10 rings. We're going to get that whole thing that we thought we were going to get in Iron Man 3. So they can definitely, kind of course correct because they've built up enough goodwill. The universe is built out. It's fleshed out. They can take a few stumbles and fix things along the way.
Very
you got
true.
Thor Ragnarok after Dark World.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah.
I know we love the MCU. I know we get a little spoiled these days, y'all, but give the MCU a break. Everything can't be perfect all the time, guys. If they stumble, fine. Just don't fall off. That's the only thing I always say, man. Movies can't be perfect, especially franchises. And the fact we got this far with the MCU, we're 24 movies in.
Yeah, that is
still
very
rolling.
True. Imagine back in 2008 with Iron Man. We never would have thought that any of this was going to be possible.
If you told me we were going to get Guardians of the Galaxy, Ant-Man, Thanos, time-traveling multiple versions of Loki, and Scarlet Witch in the same freaking franchise within 5 years of each other, I would have told you were smoking crack.
Dude, that's straight up.
No one thought any of this was going to go down. So, I mean...
No. I think at this point, we're, like you said, we're a little bit spoiled with this whole thing going on. I feel like this movie overall, it was a great way to close out the character and also build up, the future upcoming scenarios with the other, with the new cast itself, with Yelena, Red Guardian. Hopefully we'll see a lot of them coming up as well. Maybe Taskmaster too, if they want to pull her out of the show.
I actually want them to pull her out and do something else with her, man, and redeem that character, man. Because there's potential with that. I really liked what they were going for. It was the execution.
Yeah, very true, very true.
I don't know. They just needed to flesh that out, man.
Yeah, they definitely got time for sure. They definitely got time. Hopefully they probably have something lined up for us that we don't even know about. It is
Disney Plus, man. A lot of possibilities with that.
Very true.
Because we gotta know the movie slate for now, so not as much room there. But getting into the future of the MCU, Phase 4 shit, post-credit scene, dog. Well, at the end, really, Natasha's gone, of course. We know she's passed away in Endgame, and we're getting into the post-credit scene where we pick up with Yelena going to visit Natasha's grave, which was awesome to see because she didn't get a proper goodbye and memorial in Endgame. I get it; it's a long movie. We gotta kind of get to the ending. We don't want to Lord of the Rings, Return of the King this thing and have 10 endings. Yeah. But they could have fit in a little more for my girl Natasha. But we got it right here with our girl Yelena going to visit the grave, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Paying her respects. And then guess who pops up? None other than Valentina Allegra De Fontaine, a.k.a. Lady Hydra, coming back, building out the Dark Avengers.
That's pretty much what it looks like so far. That's why, she's
Dark Avengers Initiative, bro. I'm calling it right now, 2021, July 10th. You heard it here.
It's just gonna be insane, right? It's she's getting everybody together, and I can see why they wanted to release her before Captain America and
yeah, this was gonna come out before the Falcon Winter Soldier. Yeah. So this was gonna set that character up. So, but either sequence works. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I think that kind of worked in their favor with the COVID thing. Yeah. That scene you could have plucked and put in either one. Yeah. I actually don't think it felt out of place. I actually think that either way you would have caught on to it. Because a lot of people still haven't watched Falcon Winter Soldier 2, in the movie-going public. So I think it might actually get them to go back if they talk to one of their nerdy friends like us that tells them, oh, she was in this show and da-da-da-da-da, because there's more context for what she's doing, too.
That is very true, and Kevin Feige did mention that. He's saying, there will be a lot of stuff that if you don't see the movies, you won't get some of the references compared from the TV shows.
You don't need it, but it's that extra added bonus. You're going to get more context, you're going to get a little more flavor if you read the tie-in issues, right? Yeah. But if you just want the 6-issue Marvel Civil War, pick that up. But if you want Avengers Civil War, Ant-Man Civil War, Doctor Strange Civil War, you know what I mean? Yeah. All the tie-ins, then you get it. Yeah. So if you don't want WandaVision, don't buy the tie-in. You know what I'm saying? Don't get on the Disney Plus. If you just want to watch your movies a few times a year, you always got the option. Yeah, so that's always cool.
It's always there. It's always there.
That's the added bonus of this. But they're directly setting up Yelena going after none other than Clint Barton, Natasha's homeboy, ride or die. Because she believes, according to Valentina, that Hawkeye took her out. Mm-hmm. And it does make sense from Yelena's point of view. A, she's never talked to any of the Avengers. She has no context for anything they were doing, ever. B, Ronan, a.k.a. Hawkeye, in the present timeline, was recently going around killing off criminals and individuals for the last 5 years.
That was very true. Yeah, definitely.
And he went after Natasha back in the day.
That was another thing, too, that you mentioned yesterday that me and Miguel didn't really pick up until, you started explaining it a little bit more. And we were like, oh, shit, you're pretty much right. Because I know when she, that little photo showed up.
Yeah, when she was like, oh, yeah.
Here's him. He's like,
Clint Barton's your target.
Yeah, and then, she was, it got everybody by surprise. Like, oh, what the heck? What the hell? Why is she going after him? They were all caught off guard. But it makes a lot of sense when you explain to it and you were giving us the details about it in between. We're like, okay, so it does kind of make sense with
because you forget the 5-year time jump because they don't tell you at the end, and you forget because you just went back to 2016. You know what I mean? So they're kind of assuming you're following the timeline like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I was saying. So with all these details, so I will admit that is a little bit of a weakness to it that they do assume that everyone knows that when everyone ain't that nerdy about it and keeps up with every detail.
Yeah, that is very true. That's very true.
I think my dad watches all these movies and he doesn't know all that.
He was just like, it'll take a while, maybe some explanation with nerdy guys like us to be like, oh, this happened. But that's what I
say. It's water cooler talk. It's round table discussion. It brings out more details if you want to go there. Very true. I think it actually brings fans and it brings moviegoers together because it creates more conversation. That with these type of movies. That's the thing I like about superhero movies and comic book movies and stuff like that. It does have lore. It does have things to talk about and speculate about. It's not just the Bruce Willis action movie or something like that, where we still need those movies, but that's the fun thing with these movies. You can there's a lot of different things to talk about and appreciate about it, and there's different levels to the fandom of enjoying it, too. Yeah, man, but they're pretty much setting her up to be the main antagonist and or villain or something in that shape or form in the Hawkeye series. And I also read online earlier today, before we recorded the review, that Florence Pugh is apparently confirmed for the Hawkeye series before this movie even dropped.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so I don't know if
shit.
this is accurate or not. So, like I said, if I'm wrong and anyone knows, let me know in the comments section. But that's what I heard. And if that's the case, it's all fitting together like a gauntlet, baby.
It is very true, and it's going to be interesting to see the interaction between Clint and herself. I mean, it's going
Those
to
two
be
actors, Jeremy Renner and her, going back and forth. I'm looking forward to that.
yeah, because it's gonna be because Hawkeye, like he originally wanted to go, like he was the one that was trying
to take himself
fight.
out.
Yeah,
And she doesn't have like that whole confrontation with him and her, and him having to like convince her of what really happened. I really hope this is where the Hawkeye show is going, and actually gets me even more invested in it than I was before. Because the only reason why I was actually really excited for it, even though I like the character a good bit, I really want to see Kate Bishop introduced into the MCU. I never read the Young Avengers, so that's something completely new to me and is really exciting to me. When something like Marvel that I know a whole lot about, I get to see something new that I don't have any previous knowledge of. So I get to experience the movie version, and then I get to dig into all the comics and see the differences and stuff. I have a lot of fun with that stuff, man.
It's going to be awesome to see because the series itself, is this supposed to be being released sometime this year or sometime
either towards the end of this year or next.
Oh, I can't wait for that. I do want to see that be played out, to see what's going on with that whole relationship.
But yeah, dude, so from what we understand, the next couple Marvel shows that seem to be in the can is like Miss Marvel, Hawkeye, and Moon Knight is just getting started. She-Hulk is just getting started. So I don't think they started Secret Invasion yet. So Hawkeye and Miss Marvel seem to be next up after What If. It's one of those two.
I think I'm trying to remember back. I believe it is Hawkeye, because I know it's not Miss Marvel.
Because I know that movie, The Marvels, is coming next winter.
Yeah.
So they might do her next, fall to kind of coincide to set her up to go in there with Monica Rambeau and them. Gotcha. She's the only one they haven't introduced is the young Miss Marvel.
That's true. I think that we're going to get Hawkeye. Then I think spring. I don't quote me on this too much. I believe she might be coming up in the springtime, while 2022, while Hawkeye's coming out in the fall of this year. That's why it's just kind of I don't know. It's kind
of with this post-credit scene that does make sense.
Yeah, because like they wouldn't leave the fans hanging out, especially that big reveal of, oh damn, like is she really going to go after Hawkeye like that? And if she is, we already know Hawkeye. He's getting old up there, man. He's a family man himself. You know what I'm saying? He's just I don't know if he'll be able to handle Yelena any too fairly in the fight.
But Kate Bishop's supposed to be up in there, stepping up, kind of taking the mantle. So that's another interesting line of events right there. And I believe the actress playing that character is Haley Steinfeld from. Did you see Bumblebee?
Bumblebee, I have not.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, she was in that movie and this coming of age movie called Edge of 17.
Age of 17.
Yeah, but Haley Steinfeld. Yeah, look her up, dude. She's a pretty good actress, but she's playing Kate Bishop. And so that's going to be cool to see her go back and forth with Florence Pugh, because they're like around the same age and kind of two up-and-comers. So that's going to be really cool, man. And just the potential of that character tying into stuff. It's going to be really cool to see.
Yeah, hell yeah. So it's a lot of good content coming up, man. Like,
definitely, man.
Definitely so much. We got another 2 more shows coming up, if my theory is correct. And we got another 3 more movies coming up this year?
We got 3 more movies for sure. Mm-hmm. And we have 2 to 3 more movies, I'd say. I mean, shows. TV shows, because we got What If coming up next month, and then we're probably going to get Hawkeye, and then maybe Miss Marvel if not. So yeah, we got at least 2 more shows, I think, and 3 movies. So we got a lot of MCU content and a lot of stuff to find out. And Loki fucking finale next week. That's about to blow everybody's mind, and we can't even speculate on the cosmic shit of things until that's over.
Yeah, that is very true. And
so we're kind of on the street level with our girl Black Widow and them right now. But, yeah, man, I mean, overall thoughts, on the movie, just like a summary of what you think of the movie, good, bad, and what's your score?
I will give this, overall, I would give this because I know yesterday we talked. I was leaning towards like the sixes.
Mm-hmm.
More if I thought about it a little bit more. I'll give it a 7. I'll give it 7 overall. The only main reason why was because I feel like the villain for me wasn't there. It's himself.
Mm-hmm.
Taskmaster did kind of hit me a little bit, pretty hard when it comes to the rating too, because I really did want to see him branch out. It'll be cool to see him see him branch out and everything. But
a little disappointing.
I'll totally understand that. Usually Marvel we do little redemptions here and there, but overall I did enjoy the movie. Just the character itself, we finally got some closure with Natasha. We got a lot more backstory with Natasha because she only made an appearance out of nowhere. Iron Man 2 popped up, she got everything rolling off, and then she was on a long journey throughout like phase 1 all the way up to phase 4 technically. Yep. So it was a good movie. I would say it was a very good movie. I did enjoy it. I was just glad to be back in the theater again with other people like ourselves, geeking out about it.
Exactly,
it's been way too long. It's been way too long for it.
Almost 2 damn years. 2 years, pretty much, bro. Because Endgame, 2 years. Since we've been in the theater watching this MCU shit. 2 years, man.
It's way too long.
It's hard out here for a pimp. It's hard out here.
True.
But,
very true.
Yeah, man. For me, overall, Black Widow is a very well done action spy thriller. It's definitely in my top 15 Marvel films for MCU. Very solid, very entertaining. I really enjoy this movie. Love the cast. The director did a good job with this. I definitely want to check out more of Kate Shortland's work. And yeah, man, I dug the movie overall. It's very solid, very entertaining, dope action. I'll probably rewatch this a good bit just for the action, man. Definitely. And just seeing the characters interact with each other. And when I want to see some Black Widow and I want a lot of more Black Widow, or I just want a lot of that hand-to-hand shit, I'm definitely going to throw this on. And yeah, man, I'm going to give this flick, what am I going to give it, man? I'm going to go 7.5.
So you'll give it 7.5? I'm
going to give it 7.5 because it touched on some themes and some subjects the MCU's never touched on or barely touched on. And like Falcon and Winter Soldier with the issues it was talking about when it came to politics and race, this got right into it. It wasn't shying away from it. And when the humor came in, it was built on character and genuine interaction. So I love the humor. I love the action. The emotion was there. And if it wasn't for that, then this movie would be a little more generic. Gotcha. With the dope action, with the great character development, and with that subject matter being in a comic book superhero movie, I'm telling you, man, people are not appreciating this enough. If you went back 15 years ago and told someone about this shit, they would not think this was an MCU, Marvel, anything. I'm telling you, man.
It's evolving.
This movie deserves a little more credit than it's getting for the content that it's putting out. The villain's weak. Taskmaster's middle of the road for me. It's a little more of a mixed element. But if it wasn't for the villains being as weak as it was, this movie be way up there in the MCU, bro. It's just that villain element, man.
Yeah, I would if they fixed the villain and actually made it actually more fleshed out.
The person behind the Red Room as compelling as the Red Room.
Yeah, and then I would give it like solid. If it was just the villain himself, I'll give it a solid like 8.5 for sure. Because the fight scenes, I enjoy the fight scene. Like the bridge scene, I really love it. If I want to look back to certain scenes from the movie itself, I'll definitely go back to that because that was very clean. You've seen a lot of mixed characters going, fighting styles approach Natasha, and she was struggling pretty hard, and she was struggling against her own fighting style as well.
That's true. She wasn't just kicking everybody's ass like usual. You got a good amount of tension and suspense with that. We knew she was gonna live through the movie.
Yeah,
you still got some good tension, suspense, and action with the flick, man. But yeah, man, I mean that pretty much wraps up our spoiler review of Black Widow, man. But let us know what you thought. We want to talk to you guys, yo. Please leave a comment. Open up some discussion. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you somewhere in between? Are you happy the MCU's back? Are you tired of the MCU? Let us know in the comments section, especially on YouTube. It's a little more lively in the comments stuff over there. Leave a like, leave a comment. Click that subscribe and the bell button if you don't want to miss any of our stuff. And once again, download the episodes on our podcast feed. We're all over the place. Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google. You look it up. You're going to find us. We're all over social media. I got all that information in the description. And before we go, don't forget, Loki finale next week. It's wrapping up. We're going to be talking about it and all the nitty-gritty, spoilery details. We're finally going to figure out who's behind the curtain, man. So don't miss out on that. Stay tuned. Don't sleep. And we're going to catch you on the next one.
Have a good one, everybody.